What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about TAR's AI today, TAI. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, guys. It is the 24th of May. Here we are, 9 hours, 23 minutes left at 11.4 cents. Doing more or less exactly what we expected to do over the coming days here, right? It's the weekend. It's going to be a boring time. And 2 days ago, on the 22nd, we were basically at these highs up at like 12 point something cents. And I was saying we probably consolidate around here. My expectation, and the reason why I wasn't thinking that we would break out immediately, is because on the daily time frame, if we look at this here on the price, you can see that you've had 3 peaks, right? One peak here, immaculate resistance. One peak here, immaculate resistance, right? At least a little bit less resistance, actually. And this third peak here, this is likely the peak where we break out. But we're not going to break out in one fell swoop. Sometimes you do, and that's nice when it happens. But oftentimes what you do is you show signs that you're ready to break out before you actually break out, right? Rejection immediately, rejection immediately. Now we're doing a little dance, right? We're doing a little dance here. A little groove going on. Oh goodness. You see, I'm doing this. I'm going like this, like circles. But if I'm going like this, and you can only see my face, it looks like I'm going like this. Okay. All right. So we're going to consolidate here. We're not we're not going to reject, and that different behavior from this high to this high will likely beget different results. Instead of moving down, we're likely going to move up. But it's the weekend. It's a long weekend. There's less volume on the weekends. It's Saturday. We have Sunday, Monday, and a good part of Tuesday, over half of Tuesday. So we effectively have like 3 days left of this weekend, including what's left today and the parts of Tuesday that will not be open in the stock markets, where the markets are just closed and things are relatively boring. Maybe Monday, Tuesday, we start to move up, something like that. But it wouldn't surprise me if between now and Tuesday, we were just basically right at this price, just moving sideways, kind of consolidating, showing that we want to move higher, but we just haven't done it yet. We're waiting for next week to open up on Tuesday or later before we actually get the signal to move higher, right? Or maybe we're just waiting on Bitcoin to move higher for us to move higher. Either way, little consolidation never hurt anybody. Looking at the 1 hour time frame here, let's see if we can find some differences, spot some differences between these peaks, right? Here, you were very overbought, bearish divergence, went all the way down. You started living, look at this line right here, right? If you notice the RSI, you started living below the 50. You were living below the 50. Look at all the time you were below the 50 here. Look at the amount of readings that were above this circle, outside this circle. It's just crazy, right? You were living below it. Here, overbought. Oh, I don't know what just happened there. Here, you were overbought as well. Bearish divergence to top, just like that. And again, living below the 50. Predominantly living below the 50. Now, however, you're predominantly living above the 50. There was some bearish divergence to top you off, but now you got below the 50 and right back above it. Different behavior. Different behavior begets different results, right? Look at the amount of time you spent below the 50 here. Now, it's too soon to say, but we didn't make our way to the oversold zone. I guess we did, actually, if we look at this last one. We did run up from the oversold zone up to this area. So that's, to be fair, we've seen something similar to this. But what the trick, I guess, now would be is to maintain above here. So 1 hour needs to maintain above here. If it slips below, we don't want to go to the oversold zone. We want to show stronger readings and just barely dip below the 50 to the downside. Like we dipped above it here, you want to just dip below it. Dip your toes below it. Don't reside down there. Show some different behavior, right? 4 hour time frame. The RSI looks productive as hell from here, man. It does. You got the lower low here in the RSI with the higher lows in the price. It's hidden bullish divergence. You have the flat top with the ascending lows. All of it's perfect, man. You're just waiting to break out. I don't think that it'll be today, but maybe tomorrow. I mean, maybe we get a weekend breakout. Maybe it's tomorrow. I would think we probably consolidate at least for the next 3 days, but we'll see how it goes. The expectation here after the consolidation, when we're ready to break out and move higher, the expectation would be to go, if I believe it's the 786 to the 886. Yes, that's correct. 786 to 886. Looking at this here, we'd look to do something on the lines of like 120% to 205% move. And that could happen by the end of the month. That could happen in the next 7 days and 9 hours. It really could. It wouldn't surprise me at all if it did. So something like that's what we're looking for. Something that'll, you're at 11.4 cents now, 25.7 to 35 cents by the end of the month of May, if not very early June. That's the expectation. That's the next move. That's what we're looking for. If we take this here from a low to a high, and we put this in our bull flag here, measure move, that would take us just above 35 cents. So maybe there's a scenario where we go even higher than that and we see 40 cents by the end of the month. Measure moves are not requirements though. They're not. sorry, they're ideas, and ideas you can fall short of your idea. You can exceed your ideas, but likely I would think we probably do stop at the 886. If the idea is right here near the 886, we have a reason to stop just below that idea. I would think 35 cents is the area that we stop. So 11.4 cents now, 35 cents in the next week or two at the most. Yeah, this thing's gonna rip. It's gonna do really well, and I think beyond that, it's got a long, prosperous cycle ahead. TAI is one of the top 8 performing coins out of the top 420 cryptos out there, excluding meme coins. TAI is one of the top 8 performing coins that we've seen since April, since this bottom down here. So I expect it to continue to outperform the markets. Will it be the top coin in the top 8 for the rest of the cycle? Maybe, maybe not. It's got a low market cap, which is nice. It's actually out of the top 8 coins, it's got the lowest market cap, so it has some of the most potential to actually see some phenomenal growth between now and the end of the cycle. But let's just see real quick. TAI, $102 million market cap. It's just crazy. Crazy, crazy low. We're in a boring time where we're just moving sideways and we're seeing $16 million, over 10% volume on the weekend. That's nice. That's good stuff. $102 million. If you were to do 100x, that puts you at a $10 billion market cap. With that, you could do 100x, you could do a 400x, you could do an 800x. I don't know. Probably not. You probably won't do an 800x, but I think something between a 200 to a 600x is very viable as a possibility by the end of the cycle for TARS. And that doesn't mean that you're going to be up there forever. You're just going to get up there and then get out. You know, it's the market top. You blow off top. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised in the least if this thing reached like a $10 billion to $60 billion market cap. $20 billion to $40 billion market cap to be a little bit more refined there. I wouldn't be surprised at all. So a lot of potential here. Expecting big things out of TARS. I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you liked the video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.